What's up, traders, and welcome to my stream. Today we had a big mover here, which was NCPL, and today I pretty much profited around 10%. Actually, it was from 15 to 17. It was more like a 13% win. Anyway, so this ticker pretty much you know popped up over here, and we kind of took it long. A lot of traders don't really understand the difference between a liquid ticker to trade and a not liquid trader ticker to trade. And we've been seeing in the morning lots of low liquid tickers that are low volume and low volume and low volume pops and drops, and you have to avoid them and pretty much try to only trade the tickers that are important. So, that's why I have my course. My course goes through 50 examples of each strategy. Like we were discussing today in the chat room, we were discussing, why is my course important? And I was just discussing in the chat room to have, to have a strategy, you need to have at least 20 or 30 examples of a ticker. Wow, NCPL is just going wild here. NCPL is just going right. So we're gonna be we're gonna be streaming right now as we watch NCPL going wild. So NCPL is a ticker I did take long around 130. Let's see, around right here. Actually, I didn't take it long initially at 130 because I thought we are gonna fail. But the initial volume of this ticker was pretty much very liquid. A very nice 400,000 on the 1 minute, and then soon enough we kind of ran over here. And I took it long somewhere. Actually, I wanted to take it long at 130, but I kind of hesitated because a lot of these tickers were selling off. So 130 was a nice pre-market breakout of 130 multiple times, and then we came and we held 130, and then we had a wedge pattern. I eventually got in at 150, and then I sold it like 170. So, I'm gonna walk you through like what I was discussing. Why is my course important? Because a lot of you guys are just starting out and you don't have the data. Like for the past like 4 or 5 years, I've been sitting here tracking the data and tracking the big movers. And I actually go into details in my course about the data. So this is it. So right here. Right here. So why should you buy my course? There we go. Right here. So the thing about my course is that you can go through my course and pretty much um a lot of traders have been waking up at 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. and they've been trading during that time. And I pretty much agree with you. Trading around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. is great. We saw a lot of volatility during that time, and pretty much you can make 500, 1,000 bucks or whatever trading those low priced securities. But it's not scalable. That means you cannot make more than 500 to 1,000 bucks. You will probably need it's probably if you want to make like 100K on a ticker, you have to trade between normal hours. And I have and my playbook and my strategy has that. So we're gonna talk about a nice conversation here. So, like I said, you can trade. This is a nice actually conversation. You can make money between 4 and 5 a.m. and 4 p.m., but it's not scalable. You might make 500 to 2,000 per trade, but not 100,000. So you need volume and consistency. So this is a nice trader, which is Ducks guy. I believe he doesn't even place a trade until 9:35. So I have his data. He doesn't teach what I teach, but you can buy his courses. His courses are like 4 or 5 thousand, but you're not gonna get my data. He only shorts. My course is pretty much 70% long and 30% short. So to be profitable as a trader, you need at least two examples to back test the strategy. Ask any trader. Like Gritani and Ducks have their in their courses. I have their courses. They were useful, but not as much as what I do right now. They both said the same thing. So you need two examples per ticker. You need two examples. So if you look at my course right here, you look at my course right here, you can see that most of these slides, 49 slides, 25 slides, 42 slides, 42 slides, 44 slides, those are actual examples of actual setups that happened in the past 4 years. 49 slides, 14 slides, 28 slides, 8 slides, 60 slides, 60 slides, 60 slides, 28 slides, 9 slides, 28 slides. So in order to have a strategy and be consistently profitable, you need at least 20 examples of each setup in order for you to back test the strategy and pretty much fine tune it. So in this situation, I have that data. That's the data I'm working on. So what I'm doing, for each of the sub chapter of my chapter 4 strategy, I have worked around, 3 to 5 hours per sub chapter. It takes me 3 to 5 hours per sub chapter, to pretty much takes me 3 to 5 hours per sub chapter, and I have 18 of them. So you have to understand that it took me more than 60 hours to get this course together. At least it took me around 60 hours to get this course together, and just gathering the data took me around 4 years. So this is kind of like the unmatched review there. So we were discussing here another conversation here, about how's this day gonna be. So yesterday we had a lot of um a lot of pops and drops. So so the thing that you guys are lacking, or a lot of traders are pretty much lacking, or you're having trouble picking the tickers that move, because if you open up my scanners, you will understand that a lot of tickers that moved are low volume, and you should not be trading low volume tickers. You should be waiting for stocks that have volume. And I'm going to give you a couple examples that happened today, that were low volume. So this is an example of a good stock, NCPL. You can see that in the morning we had around 400,000 on the 1 minute. You see that over here. And then after the market opened, we had around $2 million, 2 million shares per 1 minute. So this is an example of a ticker that I did make profits today. Um, and I did make around, you can see, so here, my P&L for today was around 2K, just trading NCPL. And this is a ticker that's pretty much scalable. Because if you look at if you look at the stocks that popped up in the morning, there's a lot of stocks that popped up in the morning. You can see here, one ticker was SNTI. You can see this ticker popped up and pretty much sold off. And so it's like, am I supposed to trade this ticker? No. This is actually medium. Actually, this ticker was around. You can see, so here on the 1 minute, it's around 200,000 on the 1 minute. So that's not a lot of volume. I prefer I didn't like the chart to begin with. This is okay, but it's barely cutting it. I like tickers to have at least 4 to 5 thousand shares, because I avoid the pop and drops. Let me explain to you what are pops and drops, because PBM is a pop and drop. You can see, so here PBM hit in the morning, and you can see that it was low volume. 100,000, 500,000, or whatever. So you can see that you avoid the tickers. So the reason why I have such a strong liquidity requirement is because I have the data for the past 4 years of tickers that perform well, like NCPL performed today. And this stock is very scalable. You can see that, if you buy 10,000 shares, it doesn't even care because it's trading 1.7 million shares. So you're very much, this ticker is very much liquid. Very, very much. So why does the volume on the 1 minute matters? Because you need to know if it's scalable. A lot of traders came in and they traded in the pre-market. I don't think it was SMX that they traded. There was another ticker that they traded yesterday. I don't remember. But the plan here is to trade liquid tickers. Like this is a good ticker. Like this is an example of a good ticker that is liquid, 400,000 and pretty much, 1.6 million on the 1 minute. I made only 10% because I pretty much messed up the trade. Because I should have bought it at 130. I bought it at 140, got stopped out, relonged it at 150, and sold it at 170. So I didn't really make that much, even though I made some profit, but could have made more. The point is, I'm trading the ticker that matters. So in my course, I speak all about it. You know, this is this is pretty much, 60 examples, 60 examples, 60 examples, 28 8 examples, 28 examples, And the thing that's important here is like Friday I traded a VWAP reclaim setup, and the VWAP reclaim setup have no news. And then I went into the VWAP reclaim after 9:30 setup, and I recognized that, in the VWAP reclaim chapter, 70% of the tickers had news. It had a micro float, it had a clean chart, it had, a big candle, it had no resistance. So, it comes down to the little details here. Anyway, so I will be increasing the price. Right now, it's the final 10 days until I will be releasing the course. Actually, the course is released. I just got to finish. I got to finish this chapter over here. I think I got to finish right here, this chapter over here. Short the daily trend line. I was working on that on Sunday. The short the daily trend line, 28 slides. That's a strategy. So today, you have to avoid tickers that are low volume on the 1 minute, so you can avoid pops and drops, and you can avoid, those are not scalable. Like scalable, you can make, a couple hundred, say, say trading PBM, PBM. Is it PBM? Say you can make a couple hundred trading PBM, sure. But this is not a scalable strategy. This is not a strategy. This is more like, momentum trading and trying to scalp. That's not what I teach. I don't teach this. I teach something like NCPL, where you can get in, get out with size, and it doesn't really, this is kind of like what I teach here. This is a nice setup. Even though NCPL did not have news, this is why volume matters. And I go into detail 15 hours in my course, and I explain in more detail all that. And you should have at least 20 examples of each setup before using real money. If you don't have 20 examples of each setup, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're gambling. You need to have solid data that you can track and you can pretty much profit from. Other than that, see you all in my next video. Hope you guys took advantage of NCPL. This was a great opportunity today. And peace out. Make sure you get in on the course and see you or in my chat room.